What's going on YouTube? It's Swiss. We're back with another video and stream, and right here we got a video right here, a reaction video by Dark Horizon, the first fire tornado ever recorded, California 2018. Let's see what this is about.
July 26th, 2018. A tornado just formed inside a wildfire.
911, your emergency.
I'm in a dozer. All the windows got blown out. I got my curtains down. I can't last too long here.
Okay, if you can get out safely, get out, okay?
I can't. No, I have to have a ride out of here. All on fire around it.
143 miles per hour.
Oh, heck no.
2,700 degrees Fahrenheit.
How did it not burn a whole
1,000 feet tall.
The fire tornado exploded in.
See, like this doesn't make any sense, bro. Like all this tornado stuff, bro. And then this is like tornado chasers. This is what they wish, bro. They wish fire tornadoes. This is the type of stuff that they wish.
What was already a gigantic, devastating wildfire. It was so unusual that even Cal Fire investigators are still struggling to completely understand it.
I'll be right back, y'all. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back.
This is the story of the first documented fire tornado in United States history.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
But to understand how a wildfire builds a tornado, you have to go back 3 days, because what happened in Redding wasn't just a wildfire. It was the exact set of conditions needed to create something.
Hold on, when was this video?
Seen before.
8 days ago.
The region sits in the northern Sacramento Valley.
What the hell,
wedged
bro?
Between mountain ranges on both sides. In spring, cool, moist air rolls in from the Pacific, but by July, that picture changes completely.
California is always on fire, bro. Notice that.
Slopes of the mountains, it loses its moisture rapidly. What reaches the valley floor is hot, bone-dry air that acts like a furnace, pulling moisture out of vegetation, out of soil, out of everything it touches. By midsummer, the hillsides around Redding are covered in dry grass and brittle brush. It is, in every sense of the word, a powder keg. The summer of 2018 had been particularly punishing.
When we expect some of the peak heat to hit in parts of the California Central Valley, we're expecting that sunshine and really.
Why am I now just seeing this, dog?
Classic setup for a heat wave, and so we just continue.
Like, why am I now just seeing this? This is actually funny because, like, I swear certain things pop up in the past that I've never saw, bro. Like, I swear, you pass that time and it's just like a canon event that you never experienced or saw. Like, when was this ever? I'd never heard in 2018 that there was a California fire tornado. When did this come out? Someone just went back to the past and made this happen. Ain't no way, bro.
Difficult terrain and steep slopes complicated the effort. But the fire was not yet the monster it was about to become. That changed on July 26th, and everything accelerated. A powerful weather system to the north began pushing strong winds southward across the region. These winds didn't just fan the existing fire, they fundamentally changed its character. By approximately 5:30 p.m., the car fire transitioned from a fuel-dominated fire, where terrain and vegetation dictate movement, to a wind-driven fire, where the wind itself becomes the engine. This is one of the most dangerous states. So basically it's just wind and fire. And almost no one on the ground realized it had already reached.
Bro, California is hell. Did we not just
exploded eastward and downhill, racing toward the western suburbs of Redding at terrifying speed. It moved 3 miles east in just 4 hours. It jumped the Sacramento River.
Alright, this is crazy. I'm crazy.
Hold on, wait, let me see this again.
It's already jumped the river. There's a reservoir through that black smoke is. It's on the reservoir.
Yeah, bro, like, I don't understand this.
Orders went out to 38,000.
Why are we still living in California? California, I'm telling you, there's too many possessed demons. The devil himself probably resides there. We don't know it. Why is California, like, why is California even a state still, bro? Like, let's just get rid of this state.
A wall of flames takes down.
I'm telling y'all right now. If we have another California situation again, bro, I swear, bro. Like,
everything in its path. Tonight, a staggering new count. Hundreds of homes destroyed.
Who's living within this territory? Seriously, Who's gonna live it? If California keeps having fires, who's gonna live in this territory, bro?
Thousands more threatened.
Nobody's not living in
All-night
California
battle to stop the fire
after.
raging in Redding.
Firefighters scrambled to keep pace with a fire that was now outrunning almost every response. For people in its path, the science didn't matter anymore. Zita Bila, who lived in the Lake Keswick Estates neighborhood of Redding, did not receive her evacuation order until she could already see the flames.
Was she
There was
doomed?
only one road out of her neighborhood. It was backed up with cars.
No.
She told her children to pray. She recalls feeling the heat through her windows as she waited in traffic, watching
Wait, did she
the fire
survive?
close in from behind. They made it out.
Let's go.
Barely. Several miles to the north, 81-year-old Don Smith, a contract bulldozer operator, was working to cut a fire line above the Spring Creek Reservoir when the fire overran his position. A crew chief made multiple radio attempts to reach him.
Oh yeah, he's done.
Out.
He's done.
2 firefighters tried to reach him on foot. The encroaching flames forced them back. 4 helicopters dropped water through the smoke and fire around his last known location. The pilots had to guess. They couldn't see the ground. It was so hot that one helicopter's temperature warning light flicked on, and at 6:08 p.m., it was forced to land. Don
Did it land in there?
and his open cab bulldozer were nowhere to be found. CAL FIRE spokesman Scott McLean summed up what crews...
See, bro, I'm telling y'all right now, California is real life hell. Just because there's not no fire there right now, doesn't mean there's never going to be a fire again. California is hell.
were facing that evening. The fire was moving so fast, he said, that law enforcement was doing evacuations as fast as they could. There was little anyone could do to slow it down. But something else was beginning to happen above the fire. Something that very few people on the ground had ever witnessed before, and something that none of them had a name for yet. As the car fire exploded in intensity on the evening of July 26th, it began releasing enormous amounts of heat energy into the atmosphere far above it. That heat drove powerful columns of hot gas and smoke rising rapidly into the sky. At around 7:20 p.m., those columns punched through a layer of stable air above them and burst into the upper atmosphere. Within just 15 minutes, the updrafts doubled in height, shooting from 6 miles to 12 miles above the Earth.
Yeah, how did they, what the heck?
They reached an altitude of 39,000 feet, above the cruising altitude of commercial aircraft. This triggered the formation of what scientists call a pyrocumulonimbus, or pyro-CB, essentially a fire-generated thunderstorm cloud. The fire was no longer just burning, it was creating its own weather system. As the massive cloud grew, it began stretching the column of air below it, concentrating existing rotation near the surface. Wind shear near the ground, areas where air was blowing in sharply different directions at different heights, combined with the enormous updraft to rapidly organize that rotation into a coherent, intensifying vortex. This was no longer just a wildfire. It was becoming something else. A tornado. The fire tornado began touching down near Land Park in Redding at approximately 7:30 p.m. At its base, it measured 1,000 feet across. It reached an estimated height of 18,000 feet into the sky.
Made no sense, bro.
The winds inside measured 143 miles per hour, the equivalent of an EF3 tornado, strong enough to level homes. The temperature within the vortex reached an estimated 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit. For reference, that is roughly the melting point of steel.
What?
The footage captured that night looks like something pulled
This makes no sense.
hell.
This makes no sense at all. And how did they situate this? How did they situate this? I don't understand. How did they situate this?
It was the strongest tornado of any kind ever recorded in the history of California, and only the second true fire tornado ever scientifically documented anywhere in the world, after one observed during the 2003 Canberra bushfires in Australia. As it moved, it left a damaged path that looked nothing like a wildfire and everything like a violent tornado. Trees were debarked and snapped. Ground scouring appeared beneath the vortex, soil stripped from the earth exactly as it is beneath the most violent conventional storms. Massive electrical transmission towers, engineered to withstand extreme loads, collapsed. A steel pipe was found wrapped around a tree. Homes that the fire itself had not touched were still destroyed, roofs torn off, walls blown out by winds that had no business existing inside a wildfire. 3 bulldozer operators, Don Andrews, Terry Cummings, and Jimmy Jones.
Oh yeah, they're done. They're done. They're done.
Nearby.
Why would he run into the fire?
Their windows shatter simultaneously as rocks, burning embers, and debris bombarded the cabs.
He's done. He's done.
911, your emergency.
I'm in a dozer on Buenaventura up by Lake Avenue. All the windows.
They
got
should
blown
have
out.
been new.
I got my curtains down. I don't know if you guys behind me are alive. I can't last too long here.
Okay, if you can get out safely, get out, okay?
I can't. You know, I have to have a ride out of here. It's all on fire around it. Can I give you my wife's phone number? Tell her I love.
Bro. If I heard this was happening, you know how fast I would dip. Like if I heard there was a a blaze tornado coming near me, towards me, I would dip so fast, bro. Y'all would have thought it was a flash.
All 3 survived, barely.
Oh.
Unbeknownst to all of them,
how?
Less than a mile away, a Reading fire inspector had already radioed his final transmission. Jeremy Stoke was 37 years old. He was a fire prevention inspector with the Reading Fire Department. Not a firefighter on the line, but a man whose job that evening was to drive through neighborhoods and make sure people had gotten out. When the car fire ignited on July 23rd, Jeremy had been on vacation. He cut it 4 days short. He volunteered to come back. When the fire transitioned to wind-driven and began racing toward the city on the evening of July 26th, Jeremy was already on the street. He was not fighting the fire. He was protecting people from it. At 7:39 p.m., with the fire tornado bearing down
can't defeat hell,
on
man.
Ventura Boulevard, Jeremy radioed his mayday. He stated his location. He asked for a water drop. He said he was getting burned over. There was no response. The official CAL FIRE investigation concluded that Jeremy Stoke suffered fatal traumatic injuries when entrapped in the fire tornado while engaged in community protection operations. He was located in the early morning hours of July 27th. He was the first firefighter in documented history to lose their life to a fire tornado. His colleagues described him as someone who cared deeply about the
Rest in
people of
peace,
Reading.
bro.
His final act was driving toward danger to make sure his neighbors had made it out. They had. He had not. Jeremy was not the only one lost that evening. When the smoke finally cleared, a pilot spotted Don's bulldozer from the air. It had been completely engulfed. There was no sign of the protective metallic
I'm surprised the other 3 survived.
firefighters deploy as a last resort. Don Smith did not survive. Both deaths, Jeremy's and Don's, occurred within an hour and 50 minutes along a single 3-mile stretch of the car fire. Meanwhile, in a quiet residential neighborhood on the northern edge of the fire's path, the tornado's wind field was sweeping over homes that had nothing to do with the fire.
Let me guess, someone else got pushed.
Ed Bledsoe had evacuated earlier that day.
Oh.
His wife, Melody Bledsoe, 70 years old, had been unable to leave in time.
Why?
Ed Bledsoe later told reporters that Melody had been on the phone with him as it happened. She told him that,
Man, if you don't get yourself up and get in that car and drive off, think this is a movie? Should have got up out of it. Should have got right out of that house, got in the car. You're gonna be fine, bro. Think this is a movie, bro. This ain't no game.
the tornado was
Oh shoot! I just hit my earphones out the thing. No, bro. I'm not trying to open Outlook. I hate when Windows do that.
her last words. when Ed was finally able
How was you unable to get out the house? Are you serious?
nothing.
I mean, rest in peace, but like,
talking to my
dang.
little grandson on the phone. He's saying, "Grandpa, please, you got to come and help us. The fire's at the back door." I said, "I'm right by you, honey. Just hold on. Grandpa's coming."
Melody Bledsoe and
Bro,
her
why
two
did it?
young great-grandchildren didn't make it.
Why didn't they walk in the car?
Total, the car fire tornado directly claimed 4 lives. The car fire as a whole claimed 8.
Like, I'm starting to actually think, like, nah, I'm starting to actually think, bro. And I keep freaking taking my earphone thing off. I'm actually thinking, like, bro, not everybody has ADHD. Not everybody has adrenaline to get up and actually just walk to a car. Come on, bro.
Destroyed 1,604 structures, burned 229,651.
And like I said earlier, this makes no sense, bro. California is real life hell, though. Like, bro.
And caused over $1.6 billion in damage.
What, they gonna find the tornado? They're gonna find the tornado? How man, they gonna find the tornado?
By 8 p.m. on July 26th,
How about you tax the tornado?
the fire tornado had dissipated. It had been on the ground for approximately 30 minutes. The car
Now imagine that spread across states. That's crazy.
Finally contained on August 30th. By then, entire neighborhoods of Redding were gone. Half of the historic town of French Gulch, all but 2 houses in Keswick. Communities across Shasta and Trinity counties had been permanently changed. In the scientific community, the event generated immediate and significant research. A study published in Geophysical Research Letters documented the fire tornado in detail, finding that it formed through processes nearly identical to conventional tornado dynamics. Not simply a product of fire heat, but a genuine atmospheric vortex driven by a fire-generated supercell. The authors concluded that radar data had contained advance indicators of the vortex that could, in the future, be used to issue warnings. Jeremy Stokes' name is now written into wildfire training materials across California. The way fire agencies plan for extreme fire behavior, particularly the danger to personnel who are nowhere near a fire line, was changed by what happened on Buenaventura Boulevard. Before July 26, 2018, the idea of a fire generating its own tornado was something most people would have called impossible. After Redding,
That's what I'm saying.
It became something fire crews across the American West now plan for, train for, and watch for at the start of every fire season. Because the conditions that created it.
I don't know what this is, but it's like natural disasters. Natural disasters, they make me really angry, bro. These natural disasters, whatever I don't really think there's natural disasters. There's something else going on that we don't know about, bro.
Heat, the drought, the wind shear, the fuel are not gone. They are still there, every summer. Firefighters know how to fight fire. They know how to read wind. But nobody taught them how to survive a tornado made of both. After July 26, 2018, because now they know it can happen, and the next time it happens, they may not get a warning either.
What does that mean? Is that a threat?
If you made it this far, thank you for being here.
Alright, that was a good video. Still, California sucks. Maybe some parts of California is good. I don't know. I really don't know. It's too much going on in there. If y'all like the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out my other channels in my bio, and peace.